Hello, welcome to Supercharged Fridays. I hope you're doing very well. This is the 297th time that I'm going live on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. Very warm welcome. I hope you've had a good week so far. And if it hasn't, I hope that our time together will make it a good end to the week, right? And yeah, if you're tuning in for the first time, my name is Sonal Behel. Quick introduction. I'm um, used to be in human resources. I was an HR director for a very long time. And then I am, for the past 5 years, 6 years or so, I'm a career coach and I help people who are moving in their career, moving to something better, a role that pays better, in a better company, in sometimes a better city, country, or even continent. I help with all of that. And that pays better as well. So if that's what you're about, I'm happy you're here. Hang out with me. I'm live every Friday, and I have lots of stuff I do with clients, with people like yourself, with the community. I go live every Friday. I have a podcast, I have a YouTube channel, I have a newsletter. So welcome to my world. Check out superchargeyourself.com and make sure you subscribe. All right. So um, we hang out. So what's been happening? How can I help? Today, it's all about you. So if you're watching me, let me know you're watching me in the comments. Tell me where you're tuning in from. Okay. And I want to know if I can do anything to help. If you have any specific issue on your mind, maybe I can help. Maybe I can share perspectives. Okay. It's not about like questions and answers. Sometimes it's too complicated to give like a clear answer to things, but it's more about having a bit more perspective, right? And you help you to know all the facts before you make important decisions, right? What are some factors to consider? I can help with that. So if you're tuning in, welcome. I'm happy you're here. Thank you for being here. Hi, Hema. Thank you for being here live with me. I really appreciate it. And let me know that you're watching me and that it's working. Because, like I said, I've been doing this for over 5 years, almost 6 years, but we never really know when it comes to the tech. It's always good to check that it's working. Wow, almost 300 weeks I've been doing this. Good Lord. Like, the only thing that I've given this much consistency to is my family. So, this is pretty much like a job, and I take it really seriously. So, yeah, very proud of that. 300 is no joke. All right. What is up? How can I help? What you got on your mind? Let's talk about it. I didn't get time. I was doing a call right before. I didn't get time to make myself a comforting cup of tea. So it's literally just me and my hands. And it feels very strange because I normally am holding like a warm cup of tea. And actually would have been nice today because it's very chilly today. But doesn't matter. I'm here now. There's important things going on in the world. Thank you, Vijendra. Thank you for being here live. I appreciate it. All right, let me know where you're tuning in from. Which part of the world are you tuning in from? Which city, which country? Let me know. I like knowing these kind of things. I geek out with this type of stuff. All right, and we can actually just like sit and stare at each other, or you can get over yourself and ask. Let's get into it. If you're like watching me and you're like, something's on your mind, doesn't matter. Let's ask. Okay. And if you're feeling a bit shy, that's okay. I got you. The best thing to do would be go to YouTube. Okay. And you probably have a Gmail account. If you don't, takes a few seconds, set up a Gmail account. Don't use your first name, last name in your Gmail account because it's going to show up in the screen below. So use some sort of pseudonym or something, right? So that you are more anonymous, right? Okay. We got questions here. Let's get into it. Hi, Priyanka. How do you manage I have a if I have a owner house in Mumbai and I have an offer from Pune? I don't quite follow the question. Okay. You're saying you're a house owner. You've basically settled in Mumbai and you got a role and the role is based in Pune, which is a totally doable drive, right? But not every day. It's really tiring. How do you manage? Okay, good question. So you can make it work. You can make it work with the employer. Ask for a hybrid situation where you can be on site a few days a week, because I don't think you can commute every day. It's quite far, right? You can be on site a few days a week and then be back Thursday, or back Thursday till the weekend. You can definitely make something work, right? So definitely ask and make it look like it's in both your interests, their interest and your interest. So good luck with that. It's part of the negotiation, right? So firstly, congrats on the offer. That's really well done. It's not easy, right? And good luck. Good luck with that. Hi, Vijendra. I'm watching salary negotiation. Ah, you're very welcome. I'm so happy. I'm glad to hear. I'm glad to hear that. Jaipur, how lovely! I was in Jaipur a couple of months ago, and I couldn't have loved it more. So really happy to hear that. All right. What else? Hi, Paula. Good morning, Paula. I hope you're well in Wisconsin, USA. Is Wisconsin the one that's famous for cheese? Is that the one? Or is it another one? Wisconsin? No. I'm just thinking out loud. There's another place I forget. Is it with W? I don't remember. Maybe. Okay. I got another question. Hey, Ma. I'm planning to switch my career from a call center to a business analyst. I'm a little bit nervous with the lack of knowledge. I'm from Indore. All right. That's okay. Hema, what's the question? It's very normal to be nervous when you're starting something new for the first time. The only thing you can do is just kind of prepare a bit, read up on it. And people who look like they know everything, trust me, even they are figuring it out. Nobody's done a bachelor's or a master's in business analysis. Nobody. Okay. You just have to know that you're not alone. And there are others going through what you're going through. The fact that you're nervous means you care. And I think that's a good thing. Good luck. Learn. I'm not saying skip it. You gotta learn. You gotta overwork. You gotta outwork others. And you have access to so many tools that I didn't when I was here. Doing all of these things. If you're like, I'm guessing if you're on the younger side, right? We didn't have AI. We didn't have a lot of the internet, the way mainstream internet, the way it is today. So you have access to way more tools at the tip of your fingers. So use it. Use it. Okay. Are you watching from Ghana? Thank you for being here. Michael, I appreciate you joining live. I'm an owner. I have a flat in Mumbai. I understand that. But for me, that's besides the point, right? Whether you are owning or renting, that's not the. I don't think that's a criteria to consider. It's unless you're telling me unless I'm missing something. Regardless of whether you own or rent, I'm trying to understand how does that have a bearing on your career? Because if you want to do the role, you can find a way to make it work hybrid if they agree with it. Because whether you're owning or renting, you still have to commute, right? Do you know what I mean? Okay. These days, I'm seeing recruiters as very rigid with regards to offers. Yeah, it can be. Depends on the company culture, where it's kind of like take it or leave it. Or, that's a bit more sort of, if you don't take it, we'll find someone else. That's the sort of people are a bit more dispensable type of attitude. Not a huge fan of that. It can be. It can be for sure. Hi, Risto, joining for your mobile in Finland. Thank you for joining me live. I appreciate it. Cheese. Cheeseheads. Ah, how lovely. How lovely. Paula, maybe it's time we have you back. It's been ages, right? It's been a while. I don't really bring in guests anymore, but I'd love to have you back. Let's talk inside in the DMs. Michael, how do I apply for a scholarship abroad? I'm guessing you mean like, you're pursuing some sort of bachelor's or master's. Okay, good. For applying for a scholarship, you have to check with the college that you're applying to. They normally have like applications and essays. You got to go through the motions. Many people get scholarships abroad. It's not an unusual thing. So make it happen. Okay. You're asking me something that's relatively easy to find out. So you can make it happen. Good luck with that. All right. Okay. Amazing. Anything else? Feeling a bit shy? Are you going to join me on YouTube? There she is. Okay. Every day I'm thinking of something to change as I'm in the banking sector and switching to IT, where I'm seeing a lot of layoffs from large companies. It makes me confused and discouraged. I totally hear that, Hema. I wrote a post on LinkedIn this week where a client of mine was going through something similar. She's in the pharmaceutical sector, and it was like, what's the point? There's so many layoffs in the pharma world as well. And she got a verbal offer from the pharma company she's been targeting within a couple of months. So it's not that hiring isn't happening. Hiring is happening. But negative news has a way of being amplified. It's much louder. Positive news, good news, or even business as usual doesn't make a lot of noise. Do you know what I mean? Hmm. Okay. You have a choice. Being discouraged is a choice. You can be discouraged or you can be curious. You can say, what can I do? How can I show up differently? IT sector layoffs, not everywhere. Not everywhere. Certain parts, yes, but not all sectors. Depends on their clients. If they're not getting more clients, if they're not getting more income, I understand they can't afford to keep people on their payroll, but not all. I Different parts of the IT sector, right? Hey Sumesh, I'm while looking for a job, gap increase, how to handle that, what to tell HR, which action can I take now? While searching for job gap increase, how do you handle that? Okay, I'm guessing what you're asking me is when you're talking to HR and there's a gap in your career. I totally understand. It's a very good question. And you can get this question from everyone, from HR, from the hiring manager, from everywhere. You do want to have an answer ready for this. So you do want to prepare because you know this is going to come. Okay, which is why we are talking right now. Um, I have a very detailed 5-step process inside one of my YouTube videos. It's a 17-minute video. It's practically a masterclass on how to answer the question, why is there a gap on your resume? So, firstly, the resume has to have a good explanation what's been happening without giving too much detail, right? And the reason is you don't want there to be question marks because otherwise people will make those assumptions on your behalf. We don't want that. We want to control the narrative. Number one. Number two, how you answer is as important as what you say. So I'll talk to you about what you say, but how you say it matters, and make sure that it's not coming from a place of defensiveness or irritation because the other person can sense that. Okay, you want to show that the reason for the gap was something outside your control. Okay. Except maybe if you went on like a long world trip, cruise, took time off, whatever, that's different. But typically, the reasons for having a gap tend to be looking after a member of the family who was not well, right? Or a newborn, or um, you got laid off and you've been looking. Those are typically the reasons that one has a gap in their career. So it's important to address that and focus on what have you been doing to stay engaged, busy, and learn and grow during this period of time. So have like three bullet points on you've taken a course, maybe, maybe you've been reading up on certain. You want to show the learning and the growth part heavily in this answer, and maybe you did some volunteer work. Good time to talk about it, right? You want to show you've invested in yourself and you've upgraded your skills. Great time to talk about it. You want to basically be very proactive with this answer, and it's 100% possible. You can definitely do it. Okay. Okay, good luck, Somesh, with everything. You're welcome, Hema. There'll always be a reason to not do something. I'd focus on doing it anyway. Okay. So good luck. All right. Anything else? Let me know. Anything else coming up for you? It's very quiet. I'm gonna check. I'm checking my email, okay? Because I saw some emails come in. Unfortunately, the phone was kept this way. And okay, all under control. Yeah, Sumesh, you're very welcome. Good luck with that. All right. Anybody else got a question? No? If not, that's fine. We've been live for about 15 minutes. I shall sign off and let you be on your way. And by the way, belated to Sarah for all those who celebrated yesterday, my fellow Indians in India and around the world. I hope you had a lovely Dasara. And I'm just making sure I didn't miss anything. No. Okay. All right. Take care of yourself, and I shall see you at the same time next Friday. And in the meantime, if something comes up for you and you need a little bit of help, consider scheduling some time with me. Go to superchargeyourself.com/game plan. There is an application form which you need to fill out, and we can see if there's a match with what I do. Maybe there isn't, then there's no need to meet. But if there is, then fill that out as much as you can, and let's see if I can help you. Right? We can get into that. Go to superchargeyourself.com/game plan. Um, with that said, I shall let you go and have a lovely Friday and weekend. This is interesting. It says Happy Dasara, which is not the interesting part. Happy Dasara back to you. It says Sonal. So is your name Sonal, or was that me who typed? That would be weird, right? Your name is Sonal. It's a bit spooky. I have a couple of clients in my program whose name is Sonal, which is fun. One of them is a man. So it's like, ooh, interesting. So I am aware it's a fairly common name in India. It's a pretty name. It's a special name. It's not that special. It's quite common. So it could be. I got another one. When you're getting calls from HR, some consultancies asking for a salary, do we need to disclose? I prefer if you can avoid disclosing. Sometimes they don't even have a role. They're just kind of shopping and they want to see what the market pays. So I'd be happy to, it's very hard at the same time to avoid, because in some cultures it's very pushy and there are no formal laws preventing you from a privacy point of view. How do you know? You can find a way to deflect it and talk about what your expectations are instead of sharing what you are getting today. Yeah, you can share. And again, Sumesh, for this one as well, I have a couple of videos on my YouTube channel. If you see the salary negotiation playlist, there is a whole video dedicated to answering what are your salary expectations. 7-step process to help you. I nerd out with these things. Okay. I nerd out completely. So whether it's how to talk about your employment gap, how do you talk about salary expectations, how do you negotiate, how do you answer tell me about yourself, how do you answer tell me about your greatest weakness, I got a whole library of stuff and it's there for free. So why would you not use it? Right? For sure. How do you develop your personality? Do you have to go through a course? I don't think so, Hema. I don't think you need to go through a course. Courses help. But I think just working, just being at work, there's nothing like getting feedback live in real time from colleagues, seeing how people respond to you. Courses can give you some structure for sure, but I wouldn't over rely on them. Work, and which aspects, you may not even know which aspects need improvement or whatever. Maybe nothing even needs improvement and maybe you're just sort of aiming in the dark. I wouldn't worry too much about that. Hey there, thanks for coming. I came in late. Okay, great. I don't know who you are because it seems that your settings on LinkedIn are do not. Your settings on LinkedIn are preventing you from showing your name. But thank you for being here, and I would love to give you a shout out. Dylan Carter. Hi, Dylan. Thank you for being here. You have a very interesting LinkedIn headline just below your name. I'm guessing it's some fancy schmancy Latin going on in there. Thank you for being here, Dylan. I appreciate it. Thank you for joining me live. And I think with that, almost. But if you do not tell them the package, they don't schedule the interview. So if you feel comfortable, I understand because they can be very pushy. They can be very pushy. I get that. You can push back, but if it's still not working and if you think it's going to prevent you from getting a call, then share it. Okay. You can always say, what's the budget of the role? It doesn't always work. It doesn't work. There's a lot of advice on along these lines that comes from the US. Some people have more patience and some don't. So it may not work. You can also tick someone off. Hey, are you allowed to ask me that question? Don't school them. Okay. That's not your job. So if you feel comfortable, you can share. This is where I am today. And is this in line with the role you have in mind? If yes, yeah, I'd love to have a conversation. So that problem with that is if you're on the lower side, which is why I want you to talk, I want you to deflect and talk about what your expectations are. Is that in line with the role? Yes, let's talk. No, I completely understand. You'll the problem is that when it's external recruiters, they don't even represent the culture of the company, but they are the gatekeeper. So don't get too defensive with this one. Oh, I'm currently at 100K, but I'm actually on the lower side, and if we're going to go further, it's going to go to 150. Remember, it's not a negotiation, formal negotiation yet, so you have to be very careful with this one. Okay, go and watch the YouTube videos, Sumesh. I have a lot more information where that comes from. um Dylan, is that you? um yeah, okay, what's the question? Helps to understand your personality type with Myers-Briggs. Yeah, you got it. That's a very good idea, Hema. It's a good place to start. Okay, I'm not always a huge fan of these tests because they tend to be oversimplified and put you in a box. And humans are as different as the colors. Like there's so many shades. So I would be like, it's a good place to start, but I wouldn't end with that, right? No task too small, no job too great. Lovely. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, work is work. A lot of dignity in work. All right. I think with this, we are in a good place. If you have any other questions, take advantage and join me live every Friday. Good morning, Serena. Hi there. How are you in California? Thank you for the session. You're very welcome. We'll be finishing your sessions. Yeah. Good luck with the LinkedIn profile and the resume. You got this. You got this. Okay. Happy for you. Take care of yourself. And yes, again, happy belated Dasara for all those who celebrated yesterday in India and around the world. And I shall see you at the same time next Friday. Thank you for joining me live.